Hey YouTube, here again with another review, and this review is The Purge by Balisong. A really cool butterfly knife by someone who is based in Mexico, which is unusual for butterfly knives. And this is a channel style titanium Balisong with one of the coolest blade shapes in the game right now. There are not many Balisongs with that kind of blade shape on it. So, Black Balisong is a newer producer of butterfly knives. He has not been making too many knives for too long. He makes, this is called The Purge. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what it's called. He makes a sandwich style of this, which I opted for the channel because I was more interested in it. It is roughly, I was looking at this, it's exactly the same size as the replicant. It must be 5.5-inch handles, 4.5, maybe 4 and 0.45-inch blade, but it's very similar to the replicant. So the weight on this bad boy is going to be an even 4.65. Their website I think says 4.73, but things fluctuate. And then that's comparing to a replicant. A replicant is going to be like 4.7, so it's very similarly weighted to a replicant. Very similar bias to the replicant. It's got handle bias, despite its wacky, thick-looking blade, because it's got some thinness right there. And I think it's just a very gorgeous butterfly knife. So I picked this up in a trade. I actually traded a replicant for it. I was very happy with it because I had 4 replicants at the time, so I was fine losing one of them. But it is, yeah, like I said, full titanium, made in Mexico, about 5.5-inch handles, 4.5-inch blade. This is some crazy harpoon style blade that's not on anything else. And I think it's a really cool butterfly knife. I took it and I flipped it for quite a while. I made a bit of a combo video on it, which you may see eventually. I made a short out of it. And it's a very predictable handle bias butterfly knife. It's exactly what I want in a butterfly knife, so expect a good score from it. Does it replace the replicant? Not exactly. So I'm going to get into some pros of it then. I'm going to get kind of quick into the review. Pros. Gorgeous, really cool, one-of-a-kind looking butterfly knife. Really nice titanium that has a lot of nice grippy inlays, and it's not just a blocky pile of trash because it's got these nice little angles on the sides to make it more rounded on the edges, which is very nice. I'm happy he didn't just make a square butterfly knife like so many square butterfly knives out right now. Another pro is it's got a great handle bias. You can tell because I can fan it so well. I could fan this forever. I love me a good fanner, a good handle bias butterfly knife. There's my kitty cat. Another pro, it flips. It's a fast flipper. It reminds me a lot of the Alpha Beast, where it's just, you know, it's got titanium handles. It's kind of pingy, kind of a high-pitched titanium sound, and it just gets the job done, you know? One con, I'm going to bring up the biggest con first. So this blade, this really cool jut out, which is very cool, is kind of an issue when it comes to the channel style version. This doesn't happen on the sandwich style version, but this little spot right here actually collides with this piece of metal, and I'll try to get it so that the lighting is just right. So you should be able to see this right here. That little nick is from this part of the blade hitting this on the inside of the handle. So this is what it should sound like when it hits the Zen pin up at this part. Right? But if you give it like a hard toss, it slams into the handle. You hear the difference there? That's going to be the Zen pin, handle. Different sound, and you hear it when you're flipping, right? So if you're closing it pretty hard, you hear that loud, high-pitched plink. Quiet, slowly, you don't hear it. It's only in the Zen pins that it's hitting. But if you close it hard, you can hear it slam straight into the handle. So that, honestly, that is the only negative downside of this knife, is that it hits that, and I think that's unfortunate because this is such a beautiful knife. But being a downside, that actually does not really affect flipping at all. It's just kind of a build quality issue, but in the future I don't see that really being an issue, because I mean, this is hardened steel, this is titanium. Sure, it might just dig a bigger divot over time, but is that going to affect the flippability of this knife? No, I think it's just a bit of a build quality issue. I'm sure it will be addressed in the future, because like I was saying, Black Balisong is new, and I think he's doing amazing with the new shit that he's coming out with. Yeah, I do not want people to be sleeping on this guy. I feel like he's being slept on a little bit like a Tropos is being slept on. Some of these foreign knife makers don't get enough credit. Everyone's focusing on the American knife makers. You gotta keep your eyes out on Black Balisong. He's got nice priced butterfly knives. Oh, it's shout out to, I think his name is AIDS Flips. It's not offensive, please. So the guy that I traded my replicant for, AIDS Flips here on YouTube, I'm gonna link him in the description. He actually did a quick review of the butterfly knife, the replicant that I sent him as a trade for this. And now I'm reviewing this beautiful purge that he sent me. We're gonna get into the score. So the ergonomics on this bad boy, I'm giving it a 8 out of 10. It is very nice. Like I was saying, I like these semi-rounded handles where it's just a flat, it's not exactly rounded per se, it's just kind of a flat cut to make it more of a diamond shape, and I think that's very nice. I don't want an overly round butterfly knife that's going to be slipping out of my fingers. I still want there to be some grip, and I think doing this sort of a side cut is very smart. All of these cuts on the inside, your finger grips these like crazy, very nice. And then this is really good. This is a rounded spine, good for chaplains. So that makes this ergonomic 8 out of 10. Flippibility, I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. It's a very nice knife, as of course, if I ever compare something to the replicant and say it's similar, expect a good flippability rating. It still doesn't feel exactly like the replicant. There is a lot of weight in the tip of the blade, all up here, and it's thin here, which does give it a bit of an odd weight when doing some tricks, but nonetheless it does still flip extremely well. So now we're going to go to looks. The looks on this bad boy, this bad boy, so a lot of the looks come from the blade itself. 8 out of 10, yeah. I've been reviewing a lot of high quality butterfly knives lately. Maybe in the future I'll actually review some shitty ones and give some bad scores, but we're seeing a lot of 7s and 8s and 9s lately. But this is an 8 out of 10. This harpoon blade is insane, absolutely insane, and these handles, they look like a custom, like a GP Balisongs. They just look custom. They don't look fully production model Balisong, in my opinion. So it's going to get it an 8 in looks. Materials and finish, I did have to unfortunately dock it here. I think the materials are great, with the beautiful titanium handles that have been anodized nicely. But an issue with the anodization is that, if you can see, this one's blue and this handle's purple. This was, I'm pretty sure, anodized in shop, and his anodizing has gotten it's gotten beautiful. Go to his Instagram and look at the Reapers that he's anodized. But this one is just a little, there's a variation between the handles. And then the biggest gripe I have with the material and finish is this little mark down here. And therefore, I'm going to be giving it a 6 out of 10 on materials and finish. I think just, it's a small maker, you can forgive them for that. And that's going to leave this knife with a score of 29 out of 40.
Cheated on my math test.
I think this is a very nice knife and shows a shit load of promise for Black Balisong. I don't think you should ignore him. He should not be slept on. He reminds me a lot of Atropos, a foreign knife maker that is producing extremely high quality butterfly knives for the price. So you should definitely keep your eyes peeled on this knife maker and just see what he's doing. And that's the end of the review. I hope you guys enjoy my next video and keep having fun with knives. Peace.